Hey guys, let's talk about the 4th anniversary of Dragon Ball Legends. So, obviously, a lot of people have their own thoughts and opinions about this anniversary so far. Some not so good. In fact, I would say most probably not so good. But I'm going to go through as in much detail as possible just to talk about what I think my overall thoughts are about this anniversary. And yeah, that's pretty much going to be the theme of this video here. A lot of people have been asking for this, so we're going to go ahead and jump in here. I did a Q&A yesterday. The video should be up already. Basically, just answering your guys' questions, anything about Legends. And the reason why I even made that video in the first place is because I have nothing else to do content on. It's like there's nothing to do. There's nothing else to do here. So I think the easiest way to do this is we'll just go and take a look at the. I think there should be like an anniversary celebration like tab in here. Yeah, here we go. Thanks for 4 years, Dragon Ball Legends 4th anniversary. Let's pull this up. So the anniversary officially started, as you can see here, on the 28th of May, JST time. So it's been over 2 weeks since the start of the anniversary. It's been like, what was that, 16 days or so? Because it started on a weekend, on a Saturday. So technically it's been, honestly, even like 17 days or something since the anniversary started. And I would say that when I'm just going to get to the conclusion right now, and we'll sort of work our way back from the conclusion. When you compare like all the content that we've gotten, including banners, including like everything, as a part of this first part of the anniversary, when you compare all of that to a normal celebration. So, for example, I don't know. For example, just take the celebration where we got Android 17 and 18, or the celebration where we got Full Power Jiren, or any of these characters, right? Ultra Blue Captain Goku. Any major monthly release that we've gotten, when you compare the content that we got in this part one with any of those other celebrations that we've gotten in the past few months, what is really the difference in the amount of content that we've gotten? I would argue there is very little to no difference. So my question then, with that in mind, becomes what in their mind, by their mind, I'm talking about the developers of the game, Dimps, Bandai, whoever has a hand in deciding how this is ran, what in their mind constitutes an anniversary celebration, right? And it's not content, right? Because it's, again, I would argue that the amount of content that we've gotten in this celebration is not much different than a normal celebration at any point in the year. So what is really the difference, right? And I think probably when you compare this celebration, not even just in the terms of content, but like what is different between this celebration as compared to the celebrations, it's going to be the, I guess, hype of the character that dropped, because obviously UI Goku is going to be one of the most hype characters they could possibly release. And then number two, it's the amount of free stuff they're giving away. And just to be completely fair to them, I would agree with the sentiment that they are giving away a lot of free stuff in this anniversary. There's a lot of crystals, a lot of resources. There's the Legends, what is it called? Like surprise you ticket. There's the chance time things. They're giving away like the Legends Tuesday medals. There's a lot of stuff. They're giving away like, what is it, like 400 summons. It's 40 multis on a banner over the course of the login bonus. They're giving away, a bunch of like chances to get Legends Limited characters. Like there's actually a lot that they're giving away for free. And when I say for free, I don't mean you log in and you just go to your gift box, click accept all, and then log out. It requires you to play the game a little bit, and we'll get more into that later. But some of these things are easily obtainable, some aren't. But I would say even for the easily obtainable things, like just for like doing your daily missions and stuff like that, you are getting a lot of rewards. So I think it sounds weird, but I think in the mind of the developers who are creating this game and developing this game and planning out everything, the reward structure as part of this anniversary warrants it being an anniversary celebration and not necessarily the amount of content that we've gotten. Because, again, the content amount is not different than normal. So that, I think, is probably where they're coming from. And I would say that overall, that is a pretty big disconnect between the developers and the fan base, because the fan base / player base obviously doesn't just consider the reward structure to be what an anniversary is supposed to be about, right? It's part of it, and it's an important part of it, but it's not everything. And so I think that's where the disconnect lies, right? The desires and wants of the player base does not equal what the developers are willing to do for the player base. I think that's the disconnect. So let's just go through the list here, and we'll talk about everything that's released so far. The 4th anniversary special story event. These are cool. I mean, again, I don't really have anything against this, but this is not content. You do this, it takes you 5 minutes to complete this, and then that's it. I did a video on this. It took me like, again, no time at all to beat this. Okay, we got a banner. This banner came out on the 28th, and it goes up until tomorrow, at which point it might become a normal non-step-up banner. Let me just quickly... I have a DBZ Space pulled up in another tab. Let me just double-check if that is the case, if the data is in the game for that yet. But basically, yeah, dude, this... I don't see... Does that banner just go away? It doesn't become like another banner. I don't see anything in the data for this. So maybe I don't know. I don't honestly know what's happening. By the way, I'm recording this video on a Tuesday night, and we haven't gotten any sort of previews or teasers on Twitter for any kind of like new characters coming. I assume what's probably going to happen is we're probably going to end up getting the free-to-play Gogeta, the Super Saiyan Gogeta that they teased during the reveal and stuff. I definitely don't expect to get any new summonable characters, which is really, really stupid, because there was no Twitter previews, and whenever they do these big releases for Anniversary, they tend to do reveals and stuff, or some kind of official reveal for the characters before they come out, and there's been no hints or news of that at all, and the reset is tomorrow, so I'm assuming that we're just not going to get anything new, which is insane. This banner came out on the 28th. The 28th. It's been what is that, 17 days since this banner came out. I will tell you guys this banner technically brought 4 new characters to the game, right? UI Goku, Vegeta, EX Kale, EX Urine. The only character that actually did anything at all is UI Goku. Vegeta I have not seen in like a week. I don't even think I've fought in a single Kale or Urine at all. 0. So for me, and I did mention this a little bit in the Q&A video, but these big celebrations, the reason why, at least for someone like me who likes PvP, and that's the main area of the game I focus on, the reason why this anniversary is such a big letdown for me is because for these big celebrations, I like the fact that all these characters are coming out, they're buffing different teams, they're all really good and all usable. A perfect example of this is Legends Festival that just happened 6 months ago. We got Green Broly, we got Green Goku Black and Zamasu, we got the purple Tag Goku and Vegeta, and we got the blue Future Sword of Hope Trunks. I would argue that every single one of those characters was an actual shifter in how the meta was played, right? Broly was probably the worst of those 4 characters, but he was still used. He was still good on the movies team. He was still good on Saiyans. Obviously, Goku Black and Zamasu, Trunks, and Goku and Vegeta were all very, very good when they came out. And that forced people to adjust and change the way that they played the game. And overall, it just has a really big snowballing effect on the meta, and it makes everything feel fresh and new. Whereas with this anniversary, all we got was UI Goku. That's it. Like, it doesn't change anything. I mean, it's cool to play against, like, obviously it's UI Goku. He has the allure around him, and it's fun to play against him for the first, week or so. But it's really, really hard to have fun with the game if they're going to be doing these celebrations where it's like one character releases and the meta doesn't really change outside of that one character getting spotlight, but then everything else is the same, right? And I would even argue for this anniversary in particular, it's worse because unlike Legends Festival, we have the Android 17 and 18 who are still just far and I wouldn't even argue it's even remotely close. The androids are far and away the best character in the game. Like UI Goku does not hold a candle to them at all, right? So yes, UI Goku for sure was good enough to shift and impact the meta a decent bit, but he is not touching 17 and 18. And their stranglehold on the meta right now, it's immovable, right? UI Goku can't move their grip and control that they have over how the game is played. And again, this is me speaking from a standpoint of a high ranking in PvP, top 1,000, around there. So for me, that was the biggest disappointment of this anniversary so far. And I think the next thing we'll talk about, before we continue down this list, the next thing we'll talk about is the movie situation. because a lot of people, I think, have different opinions on this. The first opinion is that obviously, originally, if you guys aren't aware of this, the Dragon Ball Super superhero movie was supposed to initially release on April 22nd. Now, obviously, there were some complications. Toei actually ended up getting hacked, so they had to push the movie back to June 11th. So there's about a month and a half of a gap in between when they were originally supposed to release the movie and when the movie actually came out. And I'm assuming that that had some kind of impact on the game, right? And not even just Legends, it's also Dokkan. Any other any Dragon Ball related game that exists probably was planning something for, semi big around the movie coming out. And just, overall, whenever something new comes out for Dragon Ball, which is not very common these days, right? We had a 4-year gap in between Broly and this movie. These games are surely positioning themselves to the best of their abilities to capitalize off of those, because again, new releases in terms of animated Dragon Ball media are far and few between these days. But again, I'm not really sure the actual degree of the impact that the movie delay had on this game, but I will tell you guys this, because there's different scenarios we can talk about, but I'm not really going to go into super detail about this. If the movie had come out in April, right, and without going into spoilers, I would imagine that their plan would have been to at least, if not release characters from the movie before the anniversary, at least do it during the anniversary. Remember? So I don't know like what the contractual relationship between like Dimps, Bandai, and Toei is, because Toei is basically the ones who are I think it's Toei and Shueisha are the ones who are basically dictating to these games. Okay, like you guys are free to use these characters from the movie here and onwards, right? Because they want to maintain some of the hype level and reserve that for people going to see the movie, right? Without it being spoiled for them before they go and see it, which I assume is the reason. Because unlike Broly and the way that they marketed the Broly movie, like they didn't really reveal much about this movie at all in like trailers or any kind of public official announcements. So they've been keeping things under wraps pretty tightly, and I think that's probably one of the reasons why we didn't see something released literally the day of the movie. Remember when the Broly movie came out? We got full power Broly the day the movie released in Japan. Like the day of. So I think there's probably some sort of control in place where these games aren't technically even allowed to put out these new characters from the game from the movie until a certain amount of time has passed. And I don't mean characters that were just in the trailer. I'm talking about stuff that we haven't seen officially yet. So again, I'm not really sure the effect on this game. But what I will say is that for people who are sort of shifting all the blame to the movie delay on this anniversary and how bad it's been, let's just say, for example, the movie stuff was planned for Part 2 originally, right? And now they had to push it back. If that was the case, then they should have had way more stuff in place for Part 1. Part 1 was a complete disaster, and the lack of content is the main reason behind that, but there's also some other things which we'll talk about later. But what you have to realize is that Part 1 is what sets the tone and sets basically the course of the rest of the celebration. If Part 1 is bad, it honestly doesn't really matter how good Part 2 is. It doesn't really matter if there is a Part 3. It doesn't really matter how good Part 3 is, because if Part 1 is bad, people have already given up, right? So if they had originally planned to do, for example, a dual LF sort of campaign or banner in Part 2 of the celebration, that's probably the reason why the Part 1 of this anniversary wasn't that great, because they had stuff planned for Part 2. But if that had gotten pushed back and we're not going to be getting dual LFs in Part 2, guess what? You better load Part 1, right? So no matter how you slice it, it was just very, very poor planning from this anniversary, right? I think, if somehow they end up going into Part 2 and implementing some kind of like really hype, like dual LF setup, or there's like an Ultra character, and then there's also like a free Ultra. There's like a dual Ultra, one is free, one is summonable. Like, they could definitely make this anniversary way better thanks to Part 2 or Part 3 or however many parts there are going to be, but they really, really heavily dropped the ball during Part 1, and that's going to be what the main focus is of this video, because I can't tell you for sure what Part 2 or 3 is going to be like. I'll probably do another video at the end of the anniversary after the whole thing is over and just recapping the whole thing, because it's not really fair to judge the entire anniversary right now. I'm just judging so far what we know about it. So in terms of the actual movie-related stuff and the delay and how much it affected the game, basically TLDR, I don't really know what the effect is in the game, but regardless of how much it affected the game, Part 1 sucked, and they could have planned it better, no matter how you slice it. Okay, so let's continue down here. There's the free summons. Yeah, basically, a lot of the stuff in this anniversary is the tab we're looking at here is literally just going to be like free stuff. That's pretty much it. So, yeah, you log in, you get 40 multis, which is a lot. Like, this is definitely very good. This, all the free stuff they're giving out. Okay, so then we have log in 10 days to get a Legends Limited character guaranteed summon ticket as a present. Again, just more free stuff. Get summon tickets from this login bonus. Yep, that's the same thing. Special anniversary pack on sale now. I don't really consider this anything. It's just spend money to get stuff. It's not free. Legends Anniversary Celebration. This is another banner. It's terrible, awful banner. Yeah, the BGM is fine. The Let's Go Universe 7. Definitely a cool event. Again, people like to point out the fact that they release constant flows of free characters, which I think is very good. But you can't sit there and tell me that this takes effort. And the reason why is because these characters, every single free character that they've released, going all the way, this has been going on for years, I think now. Every single free character that they release is just a copy and pasted model and animation array of older characters. So in terms of like actual development time it takes to make these characters, all they have to do is just think of a kit to give them and program in like their unique abilities and main abilities and stuff like that, and that's it. Nothing you will say will convince me that that takes a lot of effort. So even though this event has 3 new free-to-play characters, which is good, like having more free characters is always better. Even though this event has 3 new free characters, I'm not gonna be persuaded that that was a difficult task to do for them, because they're all rehashed, they're all copy and pasted. The only thing that's different about them is the art, right? But it's not like their whole team is sitting down and drawing the art, like it's commissioned. So I don't think this is like something where we should be like, oh my god, like thank you so much. Like it should be expected at this point that we're going to be getting these free characters, because they're nothing special. They're copy and pasted from older characters. Fine. Again, it's good that we're getting them, but I'm not going to attribute that to the anniversary being good. All right, so we got full power battle versus Jiren. I gave my thoughts a little bit on this mode in the prior Q&A video, but basically what I want to say about this is that I think the skeleton of this mode is good. The foundation is good. It can be fun. I think it's just the balance is way too bad. There's 2 things about this mode that they really, really need to fix. The balancing is really bad. You shouldn't need the new characters or the boost characters to be able to win. That's just stupid. This should help, right? They should give you some sort of advantage, but it shouldn't be so drastic that you actually just can't win without them. And then number 2, I think the biggest issue for me in the actual gameplay of the mode itself is I feel like my character is frozen more than I'm able to actually control my character, because of all the AI buddies stop timing the game with like green cards and main abilities and blue cards and ultimates, and it's like, dude, I can't even play. It's so slow. It just takes forever. I don't want to see the same animations 50 times in a row. I don't want to sit there and watch the screen freeze like 100 billion times. Like, it's just not fun. That's the biggest issue I have with that mode. Chance time is not content. This is not content either. Up to 4,000 chronos. Yeah, okay, again, it's just... Basically, this is all just free stuff. Like, everything here is just free stuff. Okay. Anniversary Adventures, free stuff. Shenron's just free stuff. Hoi Poi Coins, just free stuff. Co-op is nothing different than normal. The raid is honestly not even that special. Now, the raid is something I will talk about, because the raid is tied into this sort of new thing that they're doing, right? With the... you know what? I'm actually going to bring up the details for this, because this is a big, big point of contention for a lot of players. So basically how they've done this raid, and the way that they've done this is through this. So not only are they basically making you use the boost characters, but they're also making you have a ridiculous amount of stars on your boost characters to give you extra drops. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. Them encouraging people to spend money, and then people who spend money getting rewarded, is not a new concept. I think the degree to which they are promoting that is very bad. That is very obvious, right? If I'm going to be spending my money on this game, I'm going to be expected to be rewarded in some way. That is just a very basic, way that these games reward people for spending. If I'm going to be spending money and not going to be getting rewarded, I wouldn't spend my money on the game. That's just basic, you know, uh, business 101, pretty much. But this is just stupid. Like, you're going to tell me that you're going to be asking people to have what this is a 6 to 14 star. Basically you're telling people to have a 4. Okay, because like look at this. You're telling people to have a 9-star to a 14-star UI Goku to get the extra 50 extra medals as opposed to 10. Right? This should not be how this works. This should not be this extreme, and it should not be this separated. If I was the one designing this, I think the way I would do it is I would just make every single star give like, I don't know, like 2 or 3 extra drops. That's it. It shouldn't be like this some drastic plateau. Like, okay, your UI Goku is at 8 stars. Well, if you get 1 more star, you're going to be getting 40 extra medals per run. Like that doesn't make any sense. Like, why? That's stupid. And this is coming from me, who has everything 14 stars. Like, even I think it's stupid. And yeah, I mean, look at this. So you have a 14-star UI Goku, and if you have a 14-star Vegeta, he's only going to be giving you 10 extra. Well, this Goku's giving you 50. Okay. And the thing with this sort of mindset that they've brought to the game with this this monetization model of basically forcing you to use a specific character to beat the event is it's not just limited to the raid. They've also made this a thing for full power battle, even though full power battle has pretty much had that same setup for a long time. Ever since they introduced full power battle, basically they forced you to use the whatever the boost character is. But it's for full power battle, and it's also for this new mode, which we'll take a look at here. Let me go back down here. It's called Extreme Battle, right here. Extreme Battle. Get incredible rewards by clearing 1 stage each day. UI Goku, okay, I don't think UI Goku's actually required for this, but he makes it so much easier, right? It's just like, I don't, like, in my opinion, if I was the one who was going to be designing this and figuring out how to monetize this game, I think making these characters the best in PvP is probably what I would do to make it enticing to summon for these characters. I don't really know of anybody who's like, oh yeah, I need to get these characters to like win in PvE, right? I mean, it's gonna help, but basically requiring that you need UI Goku, and not only needing UI Goku, but needing him at a high star level to beat these events to get like this extra stuff. Like that's just, I don't know. To me, it just seems like they're desperate. That is a very desperate tactic because up until this point, they've never done this before, and it just doesn't seem healthy, I guess is the best way to describe this. All right, then we have Anniversary Surprise, do more stuff. We have Anniversary Tuesday, more stuff. This is just more stuff. Equipment Collection is fine. This is good. The Super Scout Battle. It's not content, but, I mean, it's content for like 2 seconds, I guess. But it's just more free stuff. This is coming, old events coming back. This is fine. This is fine, and that's it. That's the whole anniversary. So I'm going to break it down so you guys understand this from a very easy perspective, okay? We're going to go through all of the different points of content in this part 1 of the anniversary. So what content did we get? This is content, right? This is, I wouldn't argue it takes you a lot of time to beat this or go through this, but it's content. Okay, this is content because we have new characters. I think new characters in this game, new banners in this game are definitely content because it adds more replayability into PvP. But again, out of the new characters we received, I would argue that only UI Goku is relevant, and even he doesn't have as big of an impact on the meta as I would have hoped. So that's content. This is not content, not content, not content, not content, not content. This is content. This is pretty good content. This is, this is something we should be getting every celebration. This is content. Not content. Nope. Nope. I mean, missions that just built into you playing the game. No. 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 This is an event that we have up every single day, every day of the year, so I wouldn't really count this as content. This is content, but it sucks. This is content, but it sucks. Nope, nope, nope. This is always up. This is content for like 1 minute. This is old events. Nope, nope, and that's it. So pretty much all we've gotten in terms of content are like 3 things. That's it. That's all we got for part 1. And again, that's goes back to the point I was making at the beginning of the video, which is basically saying that we didn't really get a differing amount of content during this part 1 of the anniversary than we would have gotten during a normal every month celebration. And it's not like, this anniversary, we're getting like a million things back to back to back, right? Like I said, this banner came out like 17 days ago or 16 days ago or whatever it is. Let's just say 16. 16 days ago this banner came out, right? How often do banners come out like just in the normal course of a year for Legends? I would say like, every 2.5 to 3 weeks we get a new banner with new characters. That is no different than what we're getting in this anniversary. So not even the amount of characters we're getting is different than a normal celebration, right? So that's number 1. And then all the amount of content we're getting is pretty much the same as normal anniversary. So again, to conclude the video, my main point that I was making the whole time is that the only thing that's different between part 1 of the anniversary and a every month, typical celebration, quote unquote celebration, is the amount of free stuff we're getting, which doesn't even mean you have to do anything. You just log in, you do your daily missions, log out, and that's it. So I don't really know what part of, this 4-year anniversary celebration constitutes it being called an anniversary. I don't think there is a part that constitutes it being called an anniversary. What? Because we're getting UI Goku? Is that it? Is it just the level of height this character brings to the game? Is that why it's an anniversary? It's gotta be, because I have no other no other reason. We got Zenkai Vegito Blue, I guess, but I wouldn't really call that content either. He's good, but they didn't really change much about him. All they did was add a few numbers to his stats, and I'm sure that didn't take a lot of development time to do either. So I don't know. You guys let me know. I'm gonna look through this one more time just so I didn't forget anything. There's what else? Yeah, there's the Battle Gauntlet. Oh boy, that's fun. That's it. We have maintenance coming up tomorrow. Shop and summon. I don't know what that's gonna be. To be honest with you, if it's not movie stuff, I don't even really care. To be honest, I just do not care. Anyway, let me know down below what you guys think about this video. What are your thoughts on the anniversary as a whole? I don't know what to tell you guys. It's been an absolute disaster. Hopefully, they somehow managed to bring it back in part 2, but I don't think even a fantastic part 2 is going to save this anniversary at all because of how terrible the start was. So I'll leave it at that. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll see you all in the next one.